progress. It comes from having a clear objective, a goal, moving forward unwaveringly towards success. It can be fast, it can be slow, it can be disruptive, but one thing it can't be is stopped. While progress might seem inevitable, breakthroughs come from supercharging it, delivering business outcomes at scale, fulfilling aspirations with compassion, innovating responsibly, finding new levels of efficiency, removing barriers, unlocking potential. Business is always moving, so it's easy to confuse motion with real progress. Whether it's day-to-day success or transformational gains, we supercharge progress to change the game. HCL Tech, supercharging progress.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to what promises to be an insightful and engaging webinar on AI and machine learning, driving business success, presented by Chocolate Magazine and powered by HCL Tech. My name is Rashmi Muniprema, and I'm delighted to be your host for the session. In an age where technology is rapidly evolving, AI and machine learning have become pivotal in shaping the future of business. Today, we have the privilege of hearing from two distinguished experts who are at the forefront of this technological revolution. First, let me welcome Sarmila Sivaraja. Sarmila is an AI and machine learning enthusiast. She holds a Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science and is an accomplished software engineer. She's also the co-founder and CEO of 2SF Labs co-working space. With extensive experience in software development and innovation, Sarmila will share her valuable insights on how AI and machine learning can be harnessed to drive business success. Welcome, Sarmila. Our next speaker for the day is Nimeshanan Kulendra. Nimeshanan holds both a Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science and Software Engineering and also a Master's in Information. He's a respected lecturer in computer science and founder and CEO of LearnWare, a tech-driven academy which enables children to learn the art of coding. Nimeshanan's expertise in education and practical applications of AI will offer us a unique perspective of how businesses can leverage these technologies for growth and efficiency. In today's session, we'll explore several key topics under AI and machine learning. Without further ado, let's dive into the discussion. So, the first question I'd like to ask from the both of you, so I'll start with Sarmila. What is artificial intelligence or AI and machine learning? How do you sort of define these terms?
Yeah, hello, happy to meet you guys. So yeah, based on the AI and machine learning, the term is so familiar to everyone for the moment. But the real difference between, we can define the thing. Before that, we need to clarify that machine learning or deep learning, anything is come under the artificial intelligence. It's a subset of the artificial intelligence. That's the thing we need to clarify first. So based on thing, AI is the ability of machine to imitate like human intelligence. That's how we can simply clarify about the AI. At the same time, machine learning is like that intelligent which is going to work as a human, which is making a decisions, which is able to make, if based on our experience we can able to take the decision, same as machine learning also able to make decision through that. That's how we can simply give the definition for AI and ML.
Thank you, Sarmila. So, Nimeshanan, what is your take on this?
First of all, thank you for having me. So, as we know today, pretty much AI and machine learning is probably doing the whole world, and retracing the whole past and probably the present and the future. So, to begin with, AI, of course, AI is a very broader subject in computer science. Whereas the whole idea of AI is basically like what Sharmila was saying, it is to imitate what a human like thinks. So that's where AI stands in a very simple term. But if you really look into it more deeper, so we also been talking about machine learning here. So as what she was saying, Sharmila was saying that machine learning is a subset of an AI. So likewise, there are so many other subsets that are actually helps an AI to prevail. So to say a few, starting with machine learning, well, it's all about how you gather these data and train them, and then make a probably a major lean so that people can or any application can work or act on it. But along with that, there's also other technologies that actually empowers AI. So to say so, computer vision is one of them. So we all been talking about a lot of AI-driven images and AI-driven videos and audios. So they all basically has been influenced some way or the other with computer vision or anything. Then natural language processing, as today you can see with all in using these digital assistants, they probably all come up with natural language processing being playing a part of it. So likewise, there is more deep learning, generative AI, AI, general intelligence, and so on. As you can go span on to. So AI, on one whole thing, you can say it is a technology that is empowered through multiple subsets, which can be programmed and probably developed to probably serve any purpose. So that's probably my call on it.
Okay, thanks, Nimeshanan. So the next question I'd like to ask is, how can AI and machine learning enhance business operations and like with regard to decision making processes? So how does that connect? Sharmila, what is your take? Yeah.
So the thing is operation and decision making regarding the AI, right? Okay. For the moment, I can give the real time example from my end. So recently we make it some workshop through the Python and some workshop for the communication potential workshop. So the thing is, uh, we plan to reduce the human resource, which means we don't want to involve too much of people into this sessions, or we not no need to too much of volunteers into this session, but we need to give the as much give so much of productive through that. So for that, we plan to using the AI tools and for the making some for creating our documents and making some decision how we are going to interact with the our mentors or our audience, and also we are using some social media, social media gathering details and analytics who are our proper customers and proper target audience. So these stuffs are we manage everything using the AI. So as much as we can able to do this decision without human support, of course we need a certain peoples, but no need to too much of people won't involve these stuff. So likewise, we can able to make some decision through these type of AI tools, and also business operations. For based on the business operation that I already told you, there's a some documentation. For example, make some proposal, make some posters or anything. So we can no need to hire the designers or hire the business analysts for making the documentation. But anyhow, if we have the proper idea what we want, so we can express what we need for that, then automatically AI gonna generate what our based on our ideas. So that's how we use this AI and machine learning for the business decision making and operation for the moment.
Yeah. So what about Nimeshanan? What is your take on it?
I'm sorry, can I have the question again?
Yes, sure. The question is, how can AI and machine learning enhance business operations and decision making processes?
All right. So probably to start with, like today most of the businesses where they lack at in most of the aspects is in customer relation, because customer relation is one of the key that still a lot of companies have been trying hard to get it right. There are a few other factors that also influences why they are not able to get it done nicely, but the problem mostly is because of the human influences that are being part of it, where they are not being punctual, or they are not being adaptive, or they were not able to respond properly. So these are like probably the most of the concerns that any business operation that probably deals with end users would probably face. So AI actually is one of the probably the best solution right now that you can take it up to solve this problem. Not just by eliminating a person who is actually going to be answering to what's on, what not for those who've been having queries or having to deal with customers. It's at least to a certain extent where you can greet and engage with customers so that you don't lose anyone just for the sake that nobody is attending. So especially when it comes to SMEs, this problem would arise because a lot of those SMEs are not afford to hire any customer relation operations, right? So in that case, you know AI can empower through this, especially through chatbots. I mean, today you could see most of those chatbots. Chatbots were there even before, but they were all programmed to a certain extent. But now that AI is being empowered, and with machine learning and deep learning, you can train your own chatbots with your previous feeds. So based on what the customers have already spoken, you can take them out also as a data and process them, and that all can eventually come up for a better results. So in that way, I would probably highlight, AI is actually, revolutionizing the whole business operation, and of course, it could help, the businesses to come up very well on.
Thank you so much. So, the next question I have is, what are the current trends in AI and machine learning that businesses should be aware of at this stage?
So,
Sharmila, okay, just Nimeshanan, you can continue.
so yeah, so talking about trends, I'm sure we all have know that for the fact that everybody today has some way or the other have been so much influenced by this AI pictures, AI videos, and AI audios that probably being used everywhere, right? I mean, like most of them have heard it. Like a lot of people are being used. Those people who have demised their audio. I mean, their vocals were taken through AI to generate new songs. Pictures were generated based on that. The movies were taken through that. So there's so many that is happening through. So this is something that all boils down to one concept that was called as generative AI. So they also call it as Gen AI. So this is something that was one of the most happening trends in today's context, as taking on to all kinds of new applications that are being developed. They all probably induces these generative AI as a huge factor. So on business operations also, it could be beneficial in terms of, let's take for instance a production company, right? A production company is running through a product where they were, let's say some of the products that they had, or they kind of been working with, and then if they wanted to rebrand a particular aspect of a product that they wanted to change from what they have already done, so something that they wanted to work out in a much more different way from what already available in the market. So if that would probably take a lot of time to people to go and study and look at the trends and see what are happening, and to probably build a proper brand system. Whereas through generative AIs, probably they can reproduce them on a very faster or a quicker way with multiple options simply by adapting those data which has already been there, so that it eliminates so many hours of working on rebranding or building even a new brand or new product on that particular. So where their generative AI is being a huge trendsetter, I would say, because even if you look at it on a normal a person's day-to-day life, it is being influencing a lot. I'm sure in that way, that business operations could also benefit like this.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So I can give the some example regarding Gen AI. I'm sorry, is it any noise? Okay, based on some examples, first we already know about something, ChatGPT. That's one of the NLP, which is neural language process. We can get advanced. That's a better understanding about the human language. So OpenAI ChatGPT 4 generate human-like a text and also enhancing customer service as a chatbot. He already mentioned chatbot is a 24-hour, 24 into 7 customer support we can able to receive from the chatbot. So same as when think about the AI for the cyber security. Yeah, based on the cyber security, we can dark trace using for the AI, which is identify response to the cyber threat automatically. So these are the some more example for how we are using this AI and machine learning current trends. So that's it.
Yes, that's quite insightful. I think based on my responses, it's based on convenience and efficiency, right? When it comes to business and AI. So the next question I have is, how can AI and machine learning be integrated into existing business models to drive success?
So can I go? And like,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
sure.
So, all right. So, from I think I would tap on the same thing what ChatGPT is offering today. I'm sure everybody who probably heard the word chat and AI. I'm sure they would have definitely heard it through either ChatGPT or something related to ChatGPT, right? So that's something that was happening quite well with the whole internet and internet world is that since 2022 I guess they all started it and it's been quite a while and still it's happening. So how does business can adapt these technologies quicker is now I like to go back again on the ChatGPT instance. Now ever since ChatGPT was introduced, I think it was in 2022, there was so much pressure built around the corner for all the tech related companies to adapt AI. And you guys all have seen how badly that Google was suffering to compete against ChatGPT as they were trying to introduce, Bard, and then they gone on to Gemini, and they still now they're working on more and better. So, and of course, on the other hand, companies like Microsoft, thankfully, they have already invested in ChatGPT, OpenAI. They were able to leverage that and quickly implement it in their own applications. Like people wouldn't have heard much, at least the non-tech related people wouldn't have heard much about Bing.com. But ever since ChatGPT was on play, and when Microsoft started acquiring it and started implementing it or integrating it with Bing, Bing.com, it has become all famous, and they were almost competing quite, neck to neck with Google search engine. So this is where the whole trend is going through on adapting. So adaptation of AI is something that is being more of looked at as a pressure than actually things that to happen smoothly. So Another example I could probably pick up here is where you can get now with the use of ChatGPT. I mean, of course, now you all can use it straight away using the web browser, but also this tool is also something that is uh, open source for any developer to get it, integrated to their existing applications. So there's something called, to be more technical here, so there's something called GPT-3 engine. So that GPT-3 engine is an open source engine where they can simply, you know, get it plugged in and get it used straight away. So that empowers the whole, the algorithms and then the whole, machine learning processes, which they don't have to rebuild or reinvent the wheel. Simply by making use of the GPT-3 engine, they could build things on top of it. That way, they could achieve things much more faster and easier. So probably 2 years later, you would have seen most of these applications didn't even have a single word saying AI. But now, if you go back to all these applications, they always say there is an AI part integrated, and that's pretty inevitable for those because they are forced to be influenced through these AI things. At least for the sake of trend, they have to. So good that these open source libraries and packages and APIs could help these small, these existing operations to quickly adapt and get things do better. So that way, they could easily implement rather than just going through another whole round of scale to build your AI application right from scratch. So that way, yes, the integrations of these pre-developed AI tools are helping a lot.
Yes. Yeah, in the way he mentioned that for the moment people are not ready to following the traditional method, which is go with scratch to top. To no one is ready to even the based on the coding. Yeah, no one is going to start with the HTML tag to start to end. So the people are ready to serve the time and increase the productivity through the AI, right? So likewise, these business models, current business models ready to adopt the AI. And also as a human, we can't keep entire history or entire records in our mind or in our decision making. So usually AI, it's a like we feeding the data which is in the past records, and we making the decision through the past record. So it's taking we can able to access the previous record, and we can able to predict the future as well through the AI. So in that how we can able to increase our productivity through the business using the AI. So that's it.
Yes, let's move on to the next question. What are some real world examples of businesses successfully using AI and machine learning? Any specific examples?
Shona, maybe you can go for it first.
Yeah, sure. So the thing is, we can go with the Spotify. That's a great example for our current example for that, which is using the AI and machine learning. So like this, Spotify use AI creating the personalized playlist or like a recommendation song based on the listening history. It's going to predict what we listen earlier. When you're using, when you are the Spotify user, you can simply get, if you are playing the one song, then the second song is automatically based on your taste, right? And sometimes it's based on your situation as well. So this features like discovery weekly and daily basis mixed with the using engage and increasing the time spent in the platform. That's based on your engagement and all. It's predict what you like. So in that way, Spotify is a successful platform right at the moment. And when we think about the Amazon, that's another worldwide popular one. So based on the Amazon, it's that behavior depend on your research history and depend on your taste. and depend on your purchase history, it's going to give suggestion through that history. So that's why I earlier mentioned that based on your previous or past experience, machine learning or artificial intelligence going to make some decision and so on, and it give the proper idea of how we are going to think in based on that our previous experience. So Amazon also personalize the driving the significant increase in the sale and customers satisfaction through this. And apart from that, based on the Sri Lanka, I can mention the dialogue. For the dialogue as well, move with the AI, right? For example, they are using the DR for the customer service 24 into 7. So for the moment, dialogue also, and so on. So there are so many businesses, even the Google also. So Tesla, these type of these type of companies are work on with successful with the AI.
That's very interesting. So, what about Nimeshanan? Do you have anything to add?
So yeah, well, I come from an academic background, yeah. So I
Mhm.
being a lecturer. So one of the greatest challenges that we face is with students using ChatGPT for their assignments. So that's probably a greater challenge for any lecturer. I think anyone would agree on overcoming that. So I mean, it's something inevitable. I mean, you cannot, I mean, even though you say them not to use it, they can somehow use it, right? So in that instance, how so there are tools are being built for those to help the academics to overcome these problems and tap uh, these mistakes which were caused by students. So I could give you one example. So there's something called GPT Zero. So it's actually a tool that basically checks any given content is AI driven or not. And it tells you exactly whether it is from ChatGPT or it could be ChatGPT 3.5 or 4 or 4. It can give you exactly where it has been taken from and what's on, what's off. So that way, and also it tells the level of no, that is a level of influence that it has generated through AI. So in such way that those academics could able to understand how these informations are being driven and how much it is um, you know they are true work and not. So something I think that is an interesting and most probably a trivial part as many academics would face, and this is probably one of the solutions. I mean, there are a lot who are being built simultaneously, but then this is probably one of the things that I could remember and bring it out.
Yes, Nimeshanan. So, I think this connects to the next question I'm gonna ask. What are the ethical considerations like businesses should take into account when using AI and machine learning?
Okay, so one of the biggest challenges is how well is the data legitimate. So this is probably the one thing that would probably where it boils down to all the other problems, I guess. Because is the data that we got, is it true or is it valid? Now, apparently, like if you look at Gemini, for instance, or Copilot, Microsoft's Copilot, they kind of go into an extent of giving you exactly where these informations are from and how, and they do provide the referrals for us to refer back and do. But if you really look at ChatGPT, I mean, of course, if it's ChatGPT, the paid version might have it might more better. But of course, the free version just comes just as normal. They don't, cite to any content where it is from. But at least there are other, AI generative text generators are basically giving us content. But then again, this is again a problem now. If let's say for instance, ChatGPT is the only thing that we are going to be living up with, then if they're going to simply go on to say everything that they have to say, and is it legitimate, is probably a thing that you have to have a problem with. So how well the data are and like how you go on to prove that it's correct. So it's always an important factor that even though you get a data that or information that you get it through a GPT, AI generative text, so probably or any content relative. So you probably have to validate it by making a bit of a research on to see whether that is right or wrong. So that's very important, when it comes to making sure that things are all right and how it is. And the other factor I would say is like this how well are okay. Now looking at the other perspective, now we are only talking about general data, but what if it's our personal data? For instance, if our data are being driven through to a certain extent to learn and progress some understanding how well our data are being protected, and how is it not exposed to the outside is another question. Now, I'm sure we all must be following the Twitters and sorry the X.coms and stuff. Where ever since Apple was recently launched their new iOS with the Apple Intelligence, which is empowered with the GPT engine. So ever since that was came out, Elon Musk was going on saying that Apple's security has been compromised. So he went on to publicly saying that. So these things always come into a question when it comes to how AI being used. So yeah, those probably the issues there are. You have to be more validative and protective, and probably in simple terms, whatever the AI tool that we are using, it should be we should ensure that the data are protected, and also whatever the data that they are trying to give are legitimate, or at least supported through a with resources that proves the legitimacy.
Thank you so much, Nimeshanan. What are your insights on this, Sarmila?
Yes, of course, he's right. Transparency is the most important, and the privacy. Based on the privacy, like Facebook is repeatedly facing this issue with the everywhere with the leaking the Facebook customers data through the Facebook data set. So the through the AI and machine learning as well, we need to consider about the individual or organization privacy. Of course, apart from that, security and especially ethical use. Ethical use mean through the AI and through the AI. So commonly I use as a AI. I'm not going to mention as a deep learning or machine learning. Through the AI, for the moment, we can able to create the fake news. So in that way, we need to clarify, okay, it's a real one or fake one. So these chapters based on the companies, if I generating any article regarding, okay, Google going to give the prize money or $100 within this hour. Likewise, we can able to manage or able to create the fake news through the AI, look like exactly the a real one, right? So these things are we need to consider while we are using this AI and ML technologies in our organization or as a personal.
Okay, that was quite insightful. So, moving on to the next question: how can small and medium-sized enterprises, or commonly known as SMEs, leverage AI and machine learning for growth? What are your insights on that? Nimeshan, would you like to go first?
Yeah, okay. So, like I was telling before, the whole chatbot systems and the customization softwares that being developed are probably with AI were probably the one of the most helpful for the SMEs, like I was telling before, because those are the tools that actually where these SMEs could probably leverage on and get more beneficiary out of it. And also, like, pretty much, when it comes to an SME, it's like they probably will look at how well they can manage their resources and probably make more out of it. So in that instance, I think AI could be a part in playing all those individual parts. They can be a part of making things work. So for example, like I told you, now let's say if there is a company who's building, probably they are spending on money with researchers, whereas they cannot be spending more. Of course, in that case, probably AI can be a part on helping them to driven data through. So at least if there is something that a software that can probably get the data of or data sets of their own own company, and then they can put it to, and then they can generate to that they can have it, or probably then they can collab with some other data sets and then find a better resources for the purposes. I'm just putting this on a generic perspective, whereas they are looking at it in more of R&D. If SMEs are looking on investing in R&D, I'm sure AI is something that they can look for, because I'm sure they cannot afford to go on to build huge R&Ds like the MNCs could do. So in that instance, probably AI can be very much handy for them, because that way they could basically get it done through a piece of software. So yeah, so that in that way, yeah, SMEs should be looking at it. And more of, and see, now the whole idea of AI is basically helping on the task of what we do. It's not, as we all people been saying, ever since AI came on picture, people saying you're going to lose jobs, you're going to have a lot of recessions and stuff, but actually that's not the case. It's the way how you handle it, because I'm sure anybody who uses AI also needs to be there to be more proficient. Probably they will be much more expert on using them. Right? That's how things comes into it. Like whenever then when ERP was coming into pictures, lot of them said, okay, that is going to probably cut down a lot of jobs, but actually it was not. It created new jobs. It was trying to build different arenas, and you had SAP experts who just came out just because only the ERP was coming up. So I'm sure these areas is where the market could shift their gears and move forward. So in that way, SMEs especially can get more beneficiaries, as when they wanted to invest in R&Ds, or when they wanted to look into customer relations and such and so on.
Of course, same as the customer satisfaction is the most important based on the business. It's a media, especially it's a startup or is in the small level business. Customer satisfaction is the most important. So in that case, the chatbot is one of the option. And apart from that, optimization based on our business, and we need to proper optimization we need to have. So and also boost the marketing. Based on the marketing, we our target audience it's a depend on our aim and so on, right? So based on the marketing plans, we can able to, is a medium or small level business can able to boost their marketing through the AI, or especially in the machine learning through the find their real time customers, and we can able to go with the optimized pricing for this is the one of the decision making. So as a for the optimized pricing, usually as in a traditional way we making the team and figure out the what are the things earlier they followed up, and we end of the meeting or end of the day we'll figure out the plan with the static with the some optimized pricing list. But when we are go with AI, simply we can save the time and we can figure out the proper idea with the pricing in, we can follow up the good pricing strategy through the AI and machine learning for the small business. And apart from that, we can able to go with some recommendation systems, which is for based on the initial stage we need some proper recommendation system. So AI providing the some free and paid version of recommendation system. So likewise we can grow up the small and medium level business with these AI tools.
Okay, thank you. And the next question I'd like to pose is, how can businesses ensure data quality and security when it comes to AI and machine learning?
Well, okay. So talking about quality, so I think again it relates back to the same question. Like the data's, how well the legitimacy is can be ensured, right? So if a company is feeding data, I'm sure they have to look out well on their data. I mean, simple fact would be if they are, if they are feeding their own data to their systems, then they probably have to look at, validating them through proper channels and probably govern through certain data policy acts, so that what basically doesn't slip away and this lead to discourses of misleading data. So anything that a company is probably feeding in, they just need to make sure the data is validated properly. It is actually governed through their policy system. So pretty much they should have a basic ground rule where a policy that can govern and say this is correct and this is how it has to be. And the other end, as these data also could be sensitive data, in that instance, they have to have some sort of encryption that could probably give them, much more control, and that it just doesn't, get away off it by, exposing it to some sort of cloud or anything. So that's another entity that they should be looking at. I guess those are probably the only areas that they have to be more focused on, at least primarily focused on.
Yes. So based on the encryption, it's good to go with the SSL, or we can go with the TSLS, data transmit network. So that's a good way to encrypting our data. And for the based on the access control, definitely we need to have role-based access models. That's quite good for managing our data. So that means no one is going to unauthorized people is going to access our data when we are using the role-based access control. So apart from that, it's good to go with the monitoring and alert systems. So that is necessary for that, because if we are in the so many cases are there without proper control, and yeah, without proper control, we can able to anyone can access our data and so on. So in that time we need to monitoring and alert system. So for this we can good to go with the use in IDS and set up some alert uh, data access patterns. So these how we can able to keep and serve our data and secure thing through the small and medium level business.
Thank you so much. And moving on to the next question, what are the potential risks which are associated with the use of AI and machine learning, and how can businesses mitigate them?
Okay, so what can I say? Like, okay, the potential risk of AI is, I think, pretty much everybody knows. Okay, let's look at it on a general perspective. So just to get this understanding much more clear, the problem much more clear, is now we have seen, like, how generative AIs can be more, can actually produce more reliable pictures and videos and audios contents as such, right? So if anybody wants to fake things around, and if anybody wants to, play around with it, so I'm sure AI could be an interesting tool that they can play around with it, right? But that doesn't mean that you're going to kill AI because of that. No, not really, because that's what was. This is how the whole technology evolves. Because when computers were brought in, and when the internet was on, people have had a lot of security issues. But then again, when we went through using them, right? We were using it somehow. So that's probably on a general perspective. But when it comes to business, it's also something the same. This also can get into business cultures as well. So one of the most risk that factor goes into is how well the whole process is transparent. Now, if you are not keeping it transparent, or at least the whole flow of how this whole, the AI is being, generated, then we are into a question. So we cannot slowly rely. So because, this is what it is. Like when you started doing it for the first one or two times, you will probably look into it more deeper. But as you progress, you will not be more focusing it. As you will be, then you will be keep counting on only on the results. You will not be looking at how things are being working. But if that is something going to be taken as an advantage, then anybody who can be on the other hand can, basically fool around. So in that case, probably the risk should be mitigated by having a constant check on things that are happening. We talk about a lot of cybersecurity stuff where, hacking is being a part of in all of the ways. The same thing applies even for an AI tool, I would say. Like, if you are having a system that is basically generating you certain things through a technology of this kind, then I'm sure anybody with their intelligence on that should be also part of it into constantly monitoring it. So I think some of these are also answers from what Shamila was addressing before. So monitoring is a very important thing, and how constantly you keep monitoring the flows of the system, how the functional flows are being going. I mean, again, it goes back to the whole data validation, how well it has been put. So there should be someone who always has to have a constant monitoring on this, so that they don't get into any fall hands and any misleading decision makings, because this where you could be more critical is, okay, if this goes to a human to think on making decisions, maybe it lies with a human. But what if it's a result that leads to another decision making by another computerized system, or an operation, or an automated operation? In that case, then you're going to probably put it into a huge risk, as in the whole thing could be collapsed at one day. So that I'm sure these are where you need to have people to look after it. At least you should have some sort of an engine that can basically look after things. I'm sure one day you will have AIs to look after AI. So that probably will be another thing that will be interesting coming up.
Yes. So, what are the things we need to consider? It's especially lack of transparency. So, it's like black box problem. It's we can mention as a black box problems in this case. So, for the AI models operations and decision making, following the black box, making difficult to understand their decision making process. So in this case, we need to use AI model that offer explanation for their decision. It means maintaining the clear documentation of model deploy the decision making and decision process through this black box problem. And apart from that, we can able to finding some legal issues. Is legal issues means for the moment we are not following any legal statement or legal which means that we don't have the proper legal insurance, which means when we are creating the any fake videos through, not being the fake videos, when we are creating some videos through the AI, or when we are creating some pictures with the AI, we don't have any legal issues through that. We can't complain regarding this through the legal thing. So these things we need to consider while we are using these stuff. And also data quality problem, as a machine learning as well as AI also can able to make some mistake when we are provided. It's based on our data feeding only. We are going to get back the response. So based on the data, based on the input the data quality also going to change. So as a human, we need to check the data quality while we are feeding them to our models or any our pattern. So these things we need to consider while we are using this stuff in our business.
Thank you, Shamila and Nimeshanan. So that brings us to the end of the Q&A session. And thank you everyone for joining us today for this insightful webinar on AI and machine learning. I'd like to thank Shamila and Nimeshanan. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and perspectives. Your insights on AI and machine learning can transform business practices. Like, it has been truly enlightening and inspiring. So I think everyone got a quite a holistic view of how things work with regard to AI and machine learning and businesses. So to our audience, we appreciate your participation. Thank you once again for being a part of this event, and we look forward to seeing you in future webinars and events as well. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.